even your own developing their thing, creating more distance between us and the
No nos
people
queda
we want
nada
to imitate.
que no nos puedan
So let's
quitar
cover some
luego.
12 things so we can start doing them. Number one in the category of judging is criticizing. This is where we engage in a negative evaluation of someone's attitude, a person, so who they are deep down, or their actions. It might sound something like this: you brought it upon yourself. You've got no one else to blame. Allow me to highlight one key feature of human nature that, if you understand, you can brush off with your circumstance. In others, the unfortunate reality is that most people, in fact, all people, put themselves in that way anyway. So, if you're the unsociable fellow who criticizes other people of the things they always think are
Triunfé
or about,
antes,
they won't
volveré a triunfar.
don't go on a constant fault-finding safari with the people you're talking to. Instead, serving others for their virtues. Number two, mansplaining. Yeah, I know, you might be
¡Qué sangre más
thinking to
limpiosa!
yourself, but let me explain. When we make or throw a label on someone else, what we're doing
Enojado,
is we're
tengo mis dientes
creating
delicados.
judgment of the other person. Let me highlight another feature of human nature as well. People are processes, not persons, famously said by the psychologist Carl Rogers, which is to say, when we name call other people or label them, we're creating a product out of them by believing they are set in stone and they won't be able to break free from the label we have put on them. We might call someone smart, studious, or intelligent. It doesn't matter what label you give someone. When you do give someone a label, you create a tag and you remove the person in front of you. Because you need to understand that life as human beings is an ever flowing, changing process. The second we put a label on someone or we name call them, we are
¡Estás tocando la
cementing into
guante!
that label. And then one day, if they want to break free from the label that we have foisted upon them, they're likely not to feel
Todo eso
permitted
por
to
dinero.
do
Lo
so.
hacemos por
It will
nuestros
always leave in a
amigos.
certain way. As Krishnamurti says, other people are mirrors, but the view is always distorted. When we label other people, we block their psychological growth because all of their change and psychological flourishing and breaking free from their past, what they naturally gravitate towards, is being blocked by the label that you're giving them. Instead, when you remove this label, they're able to grow freely and to do whatever they want to. And this is the thing. You might not like who people become, at which point that's your problem. But so long as you permit people the ability to grow into whatever their destiny dictates them to grow into, then
Tales
you're
recados
facilitating
solo
their growth.
perpetúan mi
So don't
tormento.
label them, because when you do so, you fix them into their beliefs that they must
Refugiados
change.
de los
Number
malditos.
three is
Música.
trouble driving, otherwise known as psychoanalyzing. This is where you analyze why someone is behaving a certain way using, and if you have any interest in psychology, transformative intelligence. Because in a conversation, we might say things like this: I can read you empathy. This is just when others use it without. When we diagnose people or try to do so, we
Reúnanse,
address the role of the therapist. Now, you have
¡Puta!
to therapist in terms of your listening skills, so you can sit back and really attentively listen to someone. But when we try to diagnose, we adopt the
no
role of
estoy
the
muerto.
hearing therapist
Todavía
and aim to tell
escucho.
you everything about a specific child. Sometimes you might find yourself in situations where you want to decode the hidden motives of a certain person, but more often than not, when we adopt the role of the annoying diagnosing therapist and we try to detect the hidden motives below what someone is saying, it's incredibly unnecessary, and it's actually avoidance of listening. So don't diagnose people. I'm telling you from experience, I've done it in.
No, olvidado, no.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is NoJ456, and today I'm going to show you guys how to do the updated Flytrap Easter egg in Black Ops 3 The Giant map, and also how to get the Golden Gun pistol, the Annihilator pistol for your character, and to kind of have it as a tertiary extra third gun or fourth gun if you have Mule Kick, and just be able to tear up some zombies whenever you need to. You can whip this thing out and do some major damage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this thing. It's very, very easy to do, and let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial here. So the first thing you're going to do is pack a punch any gun that shoots bullets and make your way over to this area of the stage and aim and take fire at the panel and see what happens right here. So as you can hear, whenever you activate that, Max's will take the place of Samantha and announcing what is going on. And now there will be 3 teddy bear locations around the map that are different than last time. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to get each one of them. So the first one up can be found by Power. It is sitting on the balcony above on one of the buildings and one of the scaffoldings. All you need to do is take aim, hit it with any weapon. It doesn't have to be an upgraded weapon or anything like that. Just take aim, hit it, and then you'll hear this quote from Max. So again, these can be done in any order, but all you need to do is make your way over to the first floor in one of the teleporter rooms, and you'll go down and you'll see this dark little hole where a radio is. All you need to do is shoot the monkey that is sitting in there, and you'll hear the second quote.
Edward, ¿qué estás haciendo? ¡Abre la puerta! Edward, abre esta puerta ya. No lo hagas. Samantha, no te alejes. Adiós, doctor. No tiene gracia, Doc. Gira. Despacio. ¿Tú sabes quién soy yo? Sí, lo sabemos. Por eso sería mejor que hicieras justo lo que decimos. Un gran mal se acerca. Hay una cadena de acontecimientos que debe ponerse en marcha. El futuro pende de un hilo. Despierta a los sujetos de prueba.
Experience, not very advanced. So let us review what we learned last class, and then we will discuss the Greeks today. So as I discussed last class, there are 3 main.
Dale, Francisco, perfecto. Dale, apenas sepas, avisar, porfa. Así más o menos voy preparado. Bueno, vos más o menos calculás que van a ser niños.
Desafortunado giro de los acontecimientos. La muerte del alemán es lamentable. Me temo que el camino que hay por delante sea más traicionero que antes.
Oye, amigo, ¿cómo estás, mi rey? Yo tengo una pregunta, boludo. ¿Por fecha ya te pagó todo lo de Maple, man? Juliado, boludo, no me debe como 5 eventos. Y otra pregunta, bueno, mañana nos vemos. No sé bien ahora todo, pero bueno, supongo que loco ya se va a poner en contacto.
Your politics. And once you master an understanding of these 3 principles, then you will see the world
much more clearly. Okay? The first idea is that the competition within states is greater than the competition between or amongst the states. Okay? And this is the idea of elite overproduction. So the historian
Todo este
Peter
tiempo
Christian,
he temido
he
el
looked at the
disgusto
fall of the
del
Roman
emperador.
Republic, the French Revolution,
No sé dónde
he
está,
looked at many
pero sigo
similar events
siendo
in human
leal.
history. He discovered that
Esto
what drives
nunca debo
places is
olvidarlo.
the fact that you have too many elites competing for limited positions of status and power. And that's what drives a lot of conflict within the nation state. Another way of saying this is that the conflict in state is not between rich and poor, but between the have a lot and have some, but want more. Okay? So usually between the upper nobility and the lower nobility. We see this throughout human history. So next class we'll discuss the Rome, okay? We'll discuss that, and we'll understand that a lot of conflict was between the upper nobility and the lower nobility. So Julius Caesar did what he did because he was of the lower nobility and was trying to reach the upper nobility. Okay? So this is the first principle that you need to understand. That what drives a lot of conflict is elite overproduction. Okay? That's number one. Number
Mis
two
sueños
is
se ven
the
acosados
elite
por espíritus.
have
Temo que no
no
sean los de mis
loyalty.
antepasados.
Okay? This is really important to understand. The elite don't have loyalty to their people or to their state or even to the family. They will do whatever is necessary for them to achieve power. Okay? And this idea of Game of Thrones, right? So let's say you've seen television show or read the book series Game of Thrones. But the world is Game of Thrones. And the people who want power, they will kill their parents, they will kill their brothers, they will kill their children in order to power
¡Demonios!
okay? So the Game of Thrones is a very nasty affair. The third thing is that war is often about maintaining that status quo, okay, or the idea of equilibrium. If you look at World War I, tens of millions of people died, okay? And you cannot possibly understand what happened, or you're probably explaining what happened, because the military strategy in World War I was so idiotic, right? You just threw millions of people at each other. But if you understood that war is really about making a status quo, that making a excess population of males, and if you don't get rid of them, then they will engage in that revolution, okay? You understand that war is really about making a status quo, then World War I makes a lot more sense. Okay? So these are three major ideas I want you to understand. And once you understand these three ideas, it's a lot easier for you to understand the movement of history. Okay? So we will use an example from Chinese history. You have a clear understanding of how this works. Okay? So let's talk about the Warring States period. This is something that hopefully you all know really well. Okay? So in the Warring States period, you have lots of really powerful states. So you have the Zhao, you have the Wei, you have the Qu, okay? And at this point in history, you could believe that any one of three will become the empire. They will unite the Middle Kingdom. Because they had access to rivers, so it's easy for them to transport soldiers and the goods. They have a large population, they were on fertile ground, okay? And then over here is this poor, southward, isolated people called the Qing. And people called Arabs, okay? So how was it possible for the Qing, for these barbarians, not very advanced, very poor Indian population, to eventually cover all China, okay? Well, once you understand these three people, you can explain it. What's happening is that the Zhao, the Wei, and the Qu are pretty stable states. right? And so the major problem is the construction. The conflict between the upper nobility and the lower
Lucha por
nobility.
el honor, pero
And the way that
acepto
we resolve the
humildemente
issue
esta bendición.
is by waging war against each other. But waging war against each other, not to conquer each other, to be able to reduce the domestic conflict within the nation state. That's that war became a ritual in which we're going to test it, right? The point was not to destroy each other, the point was just to maintain equilibrium, maintain the status quo. And as a result, the state became stable, but in other words, the stable is stagnant. And now what's happening is, first of all, the Qing is into the war because the Qing is poor, therefore they can provide mercenaries. Okay? What they do next, what happens is that these mercenaries learn all the innovation of the Zhao way, which is the military strategy. Okay? So you have this massive infusion of innovation into the Qing. Right? So the Qing is being energized. We call it energy, right? Innovation energy. An idea.
Su maldad persiste.
But not only that, but you have talented people from the lower nobility, right? They want to become officials. They will become generals. But there's opportunities for them. So where do they go, guys? They go to Qing, right? Now you have people coming
La
as well.
venganza no esperará la munición.
And now what's happening is that it's this massive infusion of energy, innovation, talent. So now they can bulldoze everyone. Okay? And now you're like, wait a minute here. Surely the Zhao, the way to recognize the danger of the Qing, and they will respond by uniting together and then destroy the Qing.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is NoJ456, and today we're showing you guys how to do the updated Flytrap Easter egg in Black Ops 3, the Giant map, and do some major damage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this thing. It's very, very easy to do, and let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial here. So the first thing you're going to do is pack a punch any gun that shoots bullets and make your way over to this area of the stage and aim and take fire at the panel and see what happens right here.
Qing has this massive infusion of energy, innovation, talent. And so now they can bulldoze everyone. Okay? And then you're like, wait a minute here. Surely the Zhao, the way to recognize the danger of the Qing, and they will respond by uniting together and then destroy the Qing, okay? That never happens. Why? The reason why is that once you enter an equilibrium, you understand the world through this equilibrium. So, in their perspective, the Qing get themselves, that's okay, because all we'll do is we'll just drive them. Or we will have them become part of the system. It's over. Why can't we just live happily ever after?
Alteración
So
temporal
it's impossible
conseguida.
for
El
the
futuro.
Zhao, the way to imagine that a Qing will one day overtake them. Okay? Another thing is that once you reach an equilibrium, the people inside the equilibrium become lazy, stupid, and arrogant. Okay? And that's why the Qing is easily able to destroy all together. In fact, the local nobility in all places try to support it to take over, right? Because now they have opportunities to rise within their society. Right? And that's the pattern of these. And we see this over and over. Right, so now let's move on to
Me estoy confundiendo.
the West.
Malditos
Okay?
sean estos talibres inducidos para el 115.
Yeah, equilibrium just means they reach a balance point, okay? Yeah, and things are just staying the same. And so people think that things will stay the same forever. So they can't imagine change happening. But the thing about human society is that things always change. Okay? So remember the pattern of the warring state. Well, guess what? This repeats over and over. So let's look at Mesopotamia. So as we discussed about Mesopotamia, you have the first city, Uruk, And what they will do is that as they expand as a city, they will develop colonies along the Tigris and the Euphrates. And then these become warring states as well. And as we discussed, what will happen is that over time they will reach an equilibrium. Basically, establish law or rules to make sure that the elite stay in power. Okay? And one important rule that they have is when you war against each other, you cannot destroy each other's temple. Why? Because the temple is the house of your patron god. You kill the patron god, then the god will be very angry and will kill all of you, okay? So let's create an equilibrium because where do they put all their gold and wealth? The temple. You can go and conquer people, but you can't touch the gold and their wealth, therefore you cannot expand. Okay, so this creates the idea of equilibrium. But as I discussed, what happened is that because of this equilibrium, energy will flow into a four-acre area called Umma. And from Umma were merchant named Lunan-Lagi, who's like, you know what? Screw this system. I'm going to go for it all. Okay? So he dares destroy a temple. And before, this is unimaginable. Because you destroy a temple, the gods will come and have it and destroy you, right? That didn't happen. But now, Lunan-Lagi has destroyed equilibrium, and now he has access to wealth. He's very quickly able to overwhelm the other city-states. At this time, the other city-states call for help from mercenaries, the Akkadians, who will come and conquer the entire region, okay? And establish an empire called the Akkadian Empire, led by Sargon. But now that they are an empire, they will now also reach equilibrium. The power will go somewhere else, energize another region, okay? So now what will happen is that the Babylonians will come, the Assyrians will come. Eventually, from the Zagros Mountain, a new people called the Persians, and the Persians, I believe it's called Galatians, will come and conquer all this area. And then they will extend outward and conquer all Anatolia and Egypt. Okay? And at this point in history, now there's a new war area called the Greeks. Okay? The Athenians, Athens, and Sparta. And Athens and Sparta, the Greeks encounter Persia because they will send in mercenaries to help Persia, and these mercenaries will learn Persian war tactics and bring them back to Greece. But not only that, but with an empire, the Greeks have the opportunity to get
third gun or fourth gun if they did fly traps, Easter egg, fourth gun if you have noodle spoil here. So the first thing, fourth gun if you have noodle kick and just be able to tear up some zombies whenever you need to. It's still the Annihilator pistol for your character and to kind of have it as a tertiary extra third gun or fourth gun if you have noodle kick and just be able to tear up some zombies whenever you need to. You can just whip this thing out and do some major damage. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this thing. It's very, very easy to do, and let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial here. So the first thing you're going to do is pack a punch any gun that shoots bullets and make your way over to this area of the stage and aim and take fire at the panel and see what happens right here.
I want to play a game. Let's play hide and seek. Close my eyes.
Athens and Sparta. And Athens and Sparta, the Greeks encounter Persia because they will send in mercenaries to help Persia, and these mercenaries will learn Persian war tactics and bring them back to Greece. But not only that, but with an empire, the Greeks have the opportunity to get wealthy. How? Through piracy, right? Piracy. And then this will force the Persians now to invade the Greek mainland to stop the piracy. Again, this is a pattern throughout history. The Mongolians will get wealthy by committing piracy because why not, right? Okay? And so now the empire is forced to go invade Greece, and guess what? They lose. This is unimaginable. Also, after that, some barbarians, the Greeks were able to receive a vast empire. The world's largest empire, the first Great World Empire called the Persians. Well, this happens all the time, okay? Why? Well, the pattern is this. Okay? So let's look at empire. Let's look at borderlands. Okay, borderlands are just for the barbarians. Alright, the empire has three major advantages. Organization and depth. And what this means is that Empire is has a lot of people. It has a centralized bureaucracy, so this centralized bureaucracy is able to conscript these individuals. And it doesn't matter if they lose a lot of battles, they can keep on throwing soldiers at the enemy, okay? But the Borderlands have three advantages that counteract these other advantages. Okay? And they are energy, openness, and cohesion. Okay? Meaning that the people work really hard, they're not afraid to die, they're open, so they want to learn from other people, and they are united as a people. And this depends on the empire, because the empire, the people are not that energetic, most of them are slaves actually. The empire is a bureaucracy, so it's very stagnant, it's very insular, it's close-minded. And it's not, and the empire is not united, it's often divided. Okay? That's why, throughout human history, the Borns are able to conquer the empire, okay? So, the persons invade Greece, they get defeated. Now Greece becomes the center of the world, or major power, okay? We shall discuss Greece.
No me jodas, hermano.
Remember that we discussed Greece before, we said the first is Homer, who is probably good prophet and humanist, okay? You got the also Odyssey. And these are the two founding texts of Greek civilization. The alphabet, right? They're now able to, using the alphabet, write down all their thoughts, and so they transmit their thoughts throughout time and space. The last, of course, is the polis, okay? The polis is their system of government, where all the citizens are involved in politics. And the polis, there's like thousands of them, and they're often small, like maybe 1,000, 10,000 people. The two major polises are Athens and Sparta. And Athens and Sparta are both Greek, but they're different societies. In fact, they're nothing alike. Okay, so let's go over why. Well, first of all, Sparta is on flat land, the Peloponnese. And if you're on flat land, you can use agriculture. But to use agriculture, you need slaves. Okay? So Sparta became a war society that conquered the surrounding people and turned them into slaves, called Helots. These Helots were, serfs, slaves, who farmed. And so Sparta became a war society based on military dominance. The entire society was centered around how to take young boys, turn them into great warriors, so that they could defend their land. Okay? The Spartans were also very conservative. Why? Because your concern is to maintain control over the Helots. You went over to conquer other places, the Helots could rebel against you. Okay? And so, if you want to know what this place is like, say China. Okay? It's very similar to China. And as a result of the system, Sparta was an oligarchy, meaning it ruled by the few. So only Spartans who were born to both a Spartan father and a mother were citizens. Everyone else was non-citizen. So if your father was Spartan, but your mother was not Spartan, you were not a citizen. Okay, so there's a massive hierarchy in Sparta, and the reason why is, for them, the priority was to maintain the status quo, okay? The Athenians are different people. The Athenians don't have good farmland, but they have good pottery. Okay? So, and the territory around them, it's mountainous. So they can't really grow crops, but they are able to grow olives. They develop olive trees. And so what happens is, the Athenians have no choice but to be expansionist. Okay? So they get a really strong navy, and they focus on trade and piracy. And that's how they sustain themselves over time. So, whereas the Spartans are conservative, the Athenians are both open and expansionist. And also, what's really important to understand is that if you're a navy, you have to be a democracy. The rule in Greece is that if you fight for it, you can vote. You can speak in public. You can participate in politics. Now, Sparta was a land army with public. puppets are these soldiers. And as a result, they were an oligarchy, okay? You can get few of them fought. But Athens was a democracy because had a navy. In a navy, everyone can roll, okay? To be hot, you have to buy weaponry, you have to train for like decades. But the Athenians had a navy where everyone could just roll, okay? And so they were a democracy. Right? And so over time, because Athens is a democracy that's expanding, Sparta is manpower. Athens will start to increase in power. Sparta will decrease in power. And eventually these two will come in conflict with each other, okay? This is called the Peloponnesian War. Eventually, this takes life to Thebes. And eventually over time, these two states, Athens, Thebes, and Sparta, will reach a equilibrium, okay? So similar to one state, where they intermarry each other, they want a way to resolve their domestic tension as opposed to trying to conquer each other. And this gives opportunity for a new power to arise that was previously thought as backwards for an exit. And this power is called Macedonia. So, what Macedonia is going to do is they can take all the major military innovations of Sparta, Thebes, and Athens to create the world's most powerful army. Okay? And what else they're going to do is they're going to recruit a lot of talent from these places. And then what's going to happen is that Macedonians are going to come and conquer the entire continent. The Macedonians will be the first to unite Greece. Okay? Now, who's doing all this? He's going to stop a second. Okay? First second is probably the greatest military genius. One of the greatest military geniuses in human history. But we don't remember him because he has a son who's actually more famous than he is. His name is Alexander the Great. Why is Alexander the Great more famous? Because Alexander the Great will take everything that Philip II built and he will use it to conquer Persia. Okay? And then what happened is that after Sicily reaches another equilibrium, a new power will rise that will overthrow the entire system. And this power is called Rome. Okay? This is what it's done next time. Okay? So you see how this pattern works, right? It's an interesting pattern throughout human history. Right? Okay. So what happened is that Alexander the Great will conquer the Persian Empire. Right? What's the Persian Empire? Egypt. Anatolia. The Levant. Mesopotamia. This is Persia. Okay? So this is like the entire world. And like this small army, okay, it's not even the entire Greek army, it's basically the Macedonian only. This small army, the Macedonians, they will come and they're able to conquer all of it, okay? And the question then is how? Well, the same reason why the Qing was able to conquer the Zhao the way in the Chu, right? Because of the need competition, the need overproduction within these areas, because the elites have no loyalty, so a lot of these elites were switching sides over time. So what probably happened was that the Qing elite, they invited Alexander to come over, they switch sides. So they very quickly able to control those. Also remember that we usually become lazy, stupid, and arrogant, right? So this guy, Darius, he is now the king of kings. Okay? He's leading the Persians. And he always believed that at some point, Alexander would stop. Okay? He'd be like, you know what, you have Egypt, you have the Levant, you have Anatolia, you have part of Macedonia. You know what I'll do? I'll give you all this territory. Plus, I'll give you half my territory. So Darius thought he could just bribe Alexander. And his father, Philip II, would have been like, Dr. Hill, I'm happy. Sure. But Alexander was not like that. Okay? Alexander is considered himself the son of God. remember, all the great conquerors believe that they are divinity. So they are the son of God, and they came on earth in order to unify the world. Okay? James was like this, and Caesar was like this, Napoleon was like this. All these great conquerors are unlimited. Like their appetite for conquest is insatiable.
Solo hago esto para sentirme mejor.
Like, we're giving you like all the money in the world. And that's not enough, okay? We're giving you the entire world. That's not enough, man. I want it all. So he kept on going. And he killed and then Darius died, and he conquered the entire Persian Empire. The problem, though, is that Alexander was being co-opted by the Persian elite. No, it was part of the Persian elite that invited Alexander to come over, and a lot of the Persian elite was sitting inside. So Alexander was incorporating more and more of the Persian elite into his army as well as the elite administration. And so his Macedonian army is not happy about this. They get together and they assassinate him. Okay? And now the world is about his general.
¿Qué hago,
Which
boludo?
we call the Hellenistic Age. Okay? The world of the Greeks.